Buenos dias, my fellow Americans. This is your president, CEO of the world, and the moon as well. I'm down here at my Texas ranch, Crawford. Thank you for coming. Taking out a few minutes from my busy schedule to talk to you about what leadership means to you. I'm here today to talk to you about what leadership means to me. Leadership's a lot like that cool fella in The Wizard of Oz. He's a wizard, he's all-knowing, he's omnipotent.
Mr. President, don't you mean a leader is a visionary? Someone with a vision and the ability to see vision through? Like a leader communicates his or her vision well and is able to take her entire team to execute that vision?
I don't follow you.
Well, for example, I had a vision that I wanted to go to Ross, the Ross School of Business. I had to take the GMAT and study and write these introspective essays and, in order to accomplish my goal. What does leadership mean to you?
I already told you, Wizard of Oz.
Communication, take 1.
So, Mr. President, what would you say are the characteristics of good communication?
That's an easy one. Just use words.
But Mr. President, don't you think it's important for a leader to communicate goals, problems, and solutions effectively? Encouraging and inspiring others with smart analogies and stories and humor, things like that?
I communicate with Dick Cheney.
Yeah, but Mr. President, wouldn't you want to communicate with your entire cabinet and get everyone's perspective?
I don't need information from one source, and that's DC. Dick Cheney. That's an acronym.
Diversity and global perspective, take 1.
Mr. President, do you think it's important for a leader to have global perspective and encourage diversity?
Absolutely not. That's what the godless liberal Democrats want you to think. Axis of evil stuff.
But wasn't your Harvard MBA class pretty diverse? Lots of international students from different backgrounds and experiences, which all added to your learning environment?
No. I didn't go to class.
Diversity and global perspective, take 63.
Well, if you didn't go to class, what did you learn from your MBA experience? What did you learn about leadership?
I didn't learn absolutely nothing from my MBA experience at Harvard. Plus, I'm a natural-born leader.
Well, I found that I learned a lot in my MBA program, like the nuts and bolts of managing numbers, but also the soft skills of managing people, collaborating, understanding cultural differences.
Yeah, that's just what I said.
Mr. President, now you're going to talk about how taking risks is an important part of leadership.
I am a risk taker. The thing about it is, I never take a risk without knowing what the outcome is going to be.
Risk-taking and accountability, take 27.
What about accountability and learning from your mistakes?
Mistakes, huh? Don't believe I've ever encountered one of those.
Well, actually, Mr. President, I think that the best leaders acknowledge their mistakes and learn from their mistakes, and then they become better leaders and thinkers.
That's what I just said. That's what I meant. You must have misunderestimated my points there.
Social responsibility, take 1.
Mr. President, what are your thoughts on corporate social responsibility?
Social reconcilability is a SoCal responsa, whatever it is. Dick, get over here. How do you pronounce this? Social, everyone. Here.
Social responsibility, take 175.
Mr. President, don't you think as businesses become more influential, they also need to give back to the community and to society? For example, as you know, almost 100% of scientists acknowledge that global warming is a problem that we must address. Don't you think businesses need to be leaders in establishing sound environmental practices?
Let me put it this way. Global warming doesn't exist because, as Columbus told us 20 years ago, the world is flat.
Are you referring to the increased interconnectedness of a globalized world, a more level playing field, and the world kind of getting smaller and businesses having the challenge but also the opportunity to have a great positive impact?
So thank you, America, for joining me here today on the ranch, where we're hard-working, important leaders, because that's what leadership is all about, being important. This is your president saying goodbye and hola.